Hello, everyone. Hope everyone's having a great day. My name's Neil. If you haven't seen my videos, I have liver cirrhosis and some other new things that I talked about briefly in my last video. However, so today I wanted to make a video because there's been some things in my mind about, how to deal with the overall stress of everything going on, how to talk about it, who to talk to, uh, you know, because it is a tough situation. Uh, you're going through this, but then, the friends and the people that you may care about, sometimes they're not equipped to, hear all about this or talk about it or, hear the ideas that, that the prognosis isn't good or the bad things, like you may not survive it or that kind of thing. And so what do you do when you're dealing with that? Especially like in my case, I live alone. Don't really have anyone locally. I have some friends that, I have through online and stuff like that. And I have this channel and things like that. So it was on my mind, and I was kind of thinking that I'm sure it's probably on other people's mind as well. So I figured we talk about it. Uh, and first thing I want to say though, I am not an expert. I am not a medical professional. I butcher the English language like I just did, here and there. So heads up. All I can specify on is what I found in my situation, and in hopes that sharing it may, help somebody who's going through the same thing. And this glare in my glasses drives me nuts too. No matter what I do, I can't get rid of it. The glasses are just cheap. Oh well. Anyway, so recently, there's been a lot on my mind because with this new neurological disease that they're working on finishing up the diagnosis with, and then I've got I haven't heard anything in a couple weeks from them, except for what I heard prior. And, the doctor had gone on vacation, and now here I am waiting, and, and things have completely changed. Like, recently, I've got the dysphasia, which if you don't know what that is, and no, that's not actually associated with any liver disease. It's something completely different. The only reason why it may be related is because of the neurological disease that's causing fibrosis in my system, the lungs, and so on and so forth, which is systemic scleroderma, essentially. But again, I got more things I got to do so that, they're going to check the lung function, the heart function, and they'll go further into all that. But there's a whole bunch of things involved because they want to see how far along you progressed and so on and so forth. And this particular neurological disease is pretty rare. It's not a very common. I think it's like 30 out of a million people a year get it. So it's definitely not common. But I like to do things different. So here I am. But anyway. So there's been a lot on my mind recently, as far as, what the prognosis is, the thoughts, the financial burden, all those different things that go with it. And there's a lot of unanswered questions as well. So then too, I'm sure I'm not the only person that knows something's going on and they're waiting for test results and something happens and then you have to wait even longer. And in the meantime, you're going, okay, come on. So I'm sure I'm not the only one with that. But in the process with this dysphasia, what it is, basically my esophagus won't relax. So when you swallow, it kind of works by massaging the food down. It opens and closes so that it pushes us down as long the way it goes, kind of like the way a snake moves across the ground. However, though, in my case, it doesn't relax. So the food gets stuck, and then also fluids will get stuck as well. They did they were able to make it so I could at least eat, but I have to be very careful what I eat. I have to eat soft foods and things like that, and I have to stay away from, certain things that will get stuck and can cause further problems and so on and so forth. And, in the process with the liver disease, I have to, as well as I do, if you have liver disease, that you have to take in so much protein. And because your body is not processing that protein correctly. So now you're protein deficient, but now your body wants to say, no, I don't want to eat that. And, food comes back up and so on and so forth. So in the process, I'm not able to sleep laying down anymore. So I had to go get a special chair so that I could sleep sitting up. I tried like the rocking chair recliners and stuff, but they're so unstable. And, my fear is to sit down and I go flipping backwards or something like that, because let's face it too, I'm not always the lightest on my feet. Any given moment, I look like I'm practicing dance moves. So I'm sure some of you can relate. But anyway, so you got the financial burden of having to go out and just get this chair so I could sleep, and sleep is very important. So definitely, do that. And then, I got the stress of, my reptiles, having to rehome them because, when I was gone in the hospital and so on and so forth, they weren't able to, get as much water and stuff that they needed. So, I couldn't let that happen to them again either. So we make hard decisions. And so how do you deal with those hard decisions? I'm still figuring part of that out, to be honest. I did find somebody that a counselor that I'm able to talk to. But it's all new, and I'm sure I'm not the only one that ever feels like when they go and they talk to somebody, they're just constantly going on about, them, myself or yourself, and continually going on about it. And it's like, you're just complaining. In reality, you're really not complaining, or I'm not complaining. I'm just need to get this stuff out of my head. And it's hard to find a person that can really handle that, because it's a lot. And not everyone's equipped to be able to deal with that. And that's why there are professionals out there. And any disease has support groups in areas. Cirrhosis, liver disease, there are support groups out there. In fact, if you could probably Google it and find a few in your area or somewhere in the big cities, or even online. I do know that there's a lot of them online that you can, find, and you can have like a discussion right there on like a chat room. Just be careful, obviously with what you do and the information you give out and so on and so forth, because it is the internet, and well, we all know how that can go. And so, here it is, you got all these new problems. So, and your mind is just filling up and it just wants to explode, and you got to carry on with your daily life and stuff like that. And sometimes everything changes. Like, I gotten used to all the stuff that I have to do for the liver disease and how to keep myself stable and so on and so forth for that. And then something else gets thrown on top. And now I'm learning a whole new situation and how to juggle that with the liver disease. So, and again, with that situation, I'm sure that a lot of you can relate to that in some way, shape, or form, to the point where everything has changed all of a sudden. And now you've got to come up with things that cost money that you have to have, or new foods, or, a new diet, new exercises, new everything. And your life just gets flipped upside down. And that's stressful. And it's okay to feel upset about it. It's okay to say that you're scared, or it's okay to say that you don't know what you're going to do, you know, it's okay to relay those emotions. Uh, but I would definitely make sure that whoever you're relaying them to, you know, is able and willing to talk about it. And sometimes people say they're willing and then they find out what's really involved and then they just kind of disappear. Uh, I mean, it's happened to me in the past, and, it's just one of those things that when you're dealing with a chronic disease that you kind of start to experience. So I definitely think that journaling is a good idea. If you're able to, write poems, or if you need to put it in a story form, or write a song about it, or just, put some pen to paper, and, you can write down your thoughts. I know that at times I have a thought now, and then maybe tomorrow I'm not thinking about it, and there's something else there. But that other thing that I'm not thinking of is important. So if I write them down, I'm able to go back to them and maybe check some of those things off as I figure them out. And, because it's definitely hard. It's not easy. Especially, like I said, all these new things thrown on top. So, definitely make sure you reach out, and sometimes there is help out there and we don't see it. Or maybe, like me, maybe you're too stubborn at times to accept it. I've been guilty of that. Uh, you know, um, the answer is right there in front of me, and no, I'm going to figure this out on my own. And, I pass it up, and, and you can also hurt people that way too, without even realizing it, so all these things, bounce around in the heads and in the thoughts and so on and so forth. So I would definitely suggest finding a way to get those feelings out there, and make sure you're doing it in a way that is beneficial, to you, to get you to the process to where you're able to relieve some of that stress. And that may require, somebody who is, a professional where they deal with that kind of thing, like a counselor or a therapist, the support group, a pastor or rabbi or whatever religion you may be involved in, a church family, close family, close friends, a loved one, a spouse, so definitely make sure that try to find those outlets so that you can talk about it, so that it's not welled up inside, because it may all come out right at the wrong time. And in the process, you may wind up saying things or hurting someone, or, or possibly, overwhelming yourself in the process. So don't let it build up. I've been guilty of that for sure. And I know I have. I've also know that I've been guilty of sometimes not thinking if somebody is able to handle what I'm dealing with. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. So, if I meet somebody, or, be friends with somebody, for me, I kind of let them know that I'm, once if I become friends with them, become close, I would let them know what I'm going through, so that they're able to be equipped with it, so that something bad doesn't happen to you and all of a sudden they're like, what's going on with my friend? So, and I really hope that this video makes sense and kind of gets the point of what I'm trying to say across. Because, right now, there's a lot of stuff going on in my head that, I'm trying to process through and I'm trying to figure out. And, it's difficult. It is difficult. So I just want to say to everyone out there, whatever you're going through, whatever that situation is, if there's multiple things that you're dealing with, uh, don't give up hope. Keep pushing, keep on, striving for something. Find some ray of hope and hold on to it and go for the ride. And, you know, um, just keep moving, keep progressing, keep on keeping on, keep going forward, and if you fall back a little bit, that's okay. Get back up and start heading forward again. It happens, so we all have our setbacks. So we just got to make sure that we get back on the horse and keep going. So, but anyway, I want to thank everybody for your kindness and for your comments and for all the followers and the likes on the videos and all the support and the generosity. Thank you so much. But for now, hopefully I hear something tomorrow more on this information, and I will keep everyone updated on what's next with all that. And I hope everyone has a great, wonderful, and blessed day. All right. Take care.